Week 10, by far the best week in the NFL. And let's start with the late-night showdown on Sunday night in Foxborough where the Seahawks knock off the Patriots. Chris, New England's fourth down play from the 1-yard line falls, an incomplete pass, a lot of contact between Rob Gronkowski and Cam Chancellor. So much talk this year about the refs, missing calls. They've been embattled all season long. This situation, that play, did they get the call right?
No, they absolutely got the call right. It was a good no call by the officials. When you saw what happened earlier in the game between Gronkowski and Cam Chancellor in a one-on-one situation, Cam was flagged. There was a little more push and pull from the defensive aspect of it. But in this situation, Cam just let Gronkowski push him to the ground. The ball was over his head. It was uncatchable. And I think the officials did a great job of not calling that play because Gronkowski initiated the contact. But overall, it was just an impressive stance by the Seattle Seahawks on the goal line, stopping two quarterback sneaks by Tom Brady, almost forcing a turnover because Brady fumbled the second one. You see they had a stone wall on LeGarrette Blount on their rush attempt. Again, and then the passing play to Gronkowski. So very impressive to see that Seattle Seahawks group rise up when you have a goal-to-go situation that late in the game. Overall, tremendous performance by that team. You see what Russell Wilson was able to do, not just being able to be effective in the passing game, but being able to facilitate that run game, getting C.J. Prosise and those guys going, integrating all those different weapons in the passing attack with Jimmy Graham, with Jermaine Kearse, and of course his favorite target, Doug Baldwin. So impressive to see that group. I think the New England Patriots pass rush was missing Chandler Jones last night. One of those things that we don't talk about very often. You think that Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia are going to be able to manufacture pressure, but it just wasn't able to do that. They weren't able to exploit the deficiencies of the Seattle Seahawks offensive line, a group that had been struggling up until yesterday. But they played well. You got to tip their cap to them. 96 yards rushing. Again, keeping the pocket clean for Russell Wilson to operate. Really impressed with that Seattle Seahawks team going on the road in a short week because they played on Monday night against the Bills and being able to beat the New England Patriots.
Seahawks proved the Patriots may be mortal. You know, Pats were coming off a bye and a home game there. This is that team coming off a Monday night game, goes cross-country and beats them in their own park. What do you think? Did they show some problems with the Patriots that we may have seen the first 9 weeks of the season?
I think they might have shown a few chinks in the armor. Again, Rob Gronkowski got a little banged up in that game, so he wasn't available the entire game. And I think the Seattle Seahawks did a great job of limiting Tom Brady in terms of where he could go with the football, taking some things away from him. We always talk about Bill Belichick taking away a team's number one threat. But I think Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll and his staff did a great job, Chris Richards, defensive coordinator, of taking a few things away that are staples in the New England Patriots offense, some of the option routes, some of the things underneath that Tom Brady likes to utilize to get the ball out of his hands quickly. They made him hold it, give those pass rushers, Frank Clark and Cliff Averill, just another half a second to get to the passer, and they were able to affect him enough, and I think that was the difference in the game.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Big trouble in Green Bay. For years, it's been thought that if you had Aaron Rodgers, you had a chance. Well, yesterday proved otherwise as the Packers get blown out by the Titans. Chris, Packers have issues on both sides of the ball. Which one is more immediate right now, offense or defense?
I'm going to say the offensive side of the ball and protecting Aaron Rodgers and providing balance for him with the running game. Right now, the offensive line isn't playing very well. They can't run the football, so everybody understands his pass. They understand it's going to be on number 12. And defenses are doing just enough to be able to pressure him, force him into some mistakes, get some hits on him. And I don't care how good the quarterback is, he's going to be suspect when you keep hitting him consistently. And that's what happened yesterday in Tennessee. They punched those guys in the mouth from the first whistle, and the Green Bay Packers weren't able to respond. A lot of question marks right now with this Green Bay Packers team. That division is up for grabs right now, but they're not playing very well. They're trending in the wrong direction. They got to right the ship if they want any chance of trying to make the postseason.
7 weeks to go. Can that happen? Can they right the ship and fix this thing?
Well, they got to find a run game, and that just comes with committing to running the football. Mike McCarthy and his staff have got to realize that it's about being able to get the volume of carries in terms of number of rush attempts to be able to provide balance, because you can't be a one-dimensional team. You don't want to expose your offensive linemen to pass rushers that know it's pass. Newsflash, Mike McCarthy, when pass rushers know it's pass, they rush that much better. So try to keep them off balance by being able to run the ball, and that's been a problem for this team. They got Ty Montgomery, a wide receiver, trying to run the ball. Now, they got James Starks back yesterday, but he was relatively ineffective again. They've got to be able to relieve some pressure on Aaron Rodgers. He can't do it all.
All right, let's move on to the game of the week where the Cowboys beat the Steelers. What impressed you most about the rookies? Dak, Ezekiel leading the Cowboys to a win on the road at Heinz Field.
They didn't panic. They didn't panic. And you saw the turnover on the first drive by Dak Prescott, the sack fumble, and you saw him on the sideline. He didn't look like he was fazed. He didn't panic. It was a hostile environment going into Pittsburgh. That's a tough place to play. But then again, you see what happens. The Pittsburgh Steelers came with a double dog blitz on the inside, the bear blitz, 2 inside linebackers, and Dak Prescott trusted his protection. He stepped up. The running back, Lance Dunbar, got it picked up, and he was able to hit that 50-yard touchdown pass to Dez Bryant. Another impressive situation. Then you look at the end of the game, 42 seconds left, getting the ball on the 25-yard line. Those guys didn't panic. They were down 2. They drove the length of the field, and they didn't leave it up to the kicker. Ezekiel Elliott hit the walk-off touchdown run. Very impressive to see those guys finish a game like that. Again, the offensive line came to play. They brought their hard hats. They were able to establish a new line of scrimmage. Ezekiel Elliott, that run game, 127 yards on the ground. But most impressed with the situational football, the situational aspect of things. Those guys have confidence that they're able to perform and they're able to win those situations.
Cowboys have the Ravens, Redskins, Vikings, and Giants down the road here. So not a really tough schedule. Okay, but not a real.
They should be favored in most of the games from here on out. So it'd be interesting to see how that schedule plays out.
All right, our last topic. That's 4 in a row for the Dolphins. Yeah, a month ago, Miami was blown out by Tennessee, dropping to 1-4 in the season. Now the Fins have reeled off 4 straight wins after a wild W in San Diego. Chris, Miami seems to have figured things out. The schedule coming up includes losing teams in 4 of its final 7 games. Is it time to start considering the Dolphins as a playoff team here?
I think you have to consider them. Now, they've got some work to do because there's some teams in the AFC West that would have something to say about that. But the formula for success for the Miami Dolphins has been taking the ball out of Ryan Tannehill's hands and putting it in Jay Ajayi's hands and that offensive line, and they've been winning football games like that. If they continue to do that, that's something that they can recreate each game, week in, week out, and they're going to be able to have a lot of success with. That offensive line is playing really, really well right now. 4 first-round draft picks on that offensive line, so it's a group that has talent. Now you're allowing those guys to do what they do best, what they love to do. Every offensive lineman will tell you they love the run block. They're letting those guys get involved in the game. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, and when you can do that, you can dictate the terms of the game. Ryan Tannehill taking shots in play action, get chunk yardage to Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, and Jarvis Landry. I think that's the direction that this offense needs to go. Protect that defense as well, control time of possession. Dolphins are rolling right now.